Round of the hand. Give a big round. Give a big round. Give a big round. Big round of applause.
We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the Parents' Lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the Parents' Lounge is the cure to staying sane. Welcome to another edition of the Parent. Oh, there you are. You back, Mulligan? You're still muted, but it's okay. Welcome to another edition of the Parents' Lounge. I guess it's our last of the year. I'm Jamie Kaler, joined as always by Kate Mulligan and Jason Gowan.
Hello.
We put absolutely no pre-show publicity into this whatsoever. We weren't going to do a show. We were going to play a repeat because I was going to be in Colorado and Mulligan was going to be traveling elsewhere. And
I just don't care anymore.
He doesn't care anymore.
Yeah. Par for the course.
I learned a valuable lesson about booking a flight with Southwest, and
not a paid sponsor.
We're going to have the end of year vent session that I think every single person out there wants to have. So here's what we're going to do. I have a lot. I have a lot to get off my chest. Mulligan has even more to get off her chest because I've seen some photos and it wasn't a pretty Christmas. Jason actually had a good Christmas, and we'll even talk about that. So if you guys have subjects or topics that happened to you over the holidays, please type them in because we would love to talk about it. Hey, guys, how is everybody tonight?
I want to do a section called Lemonade where I just give you all my lemons and you guys tell me what ingredients I need to make it taste sweet.
Oh, we could do that. Sure. Yeah. That sounds like a fun game.
Yeah, does it though? I don't know.
Topic.
Well, here's the thing. You've already been given the lemons. So if we turn it around for you, aren't we doing a public service?
It's true.
Okay.
I'm going to start. I'm just going to give you guys the briefest overview of what has happened in this family since December 16th. So December 16th was 2 Fridays ago. And my son James, I'm not going to say diarrhea on repeat, but let's just say a fire hose. I'm going to say fire hose. Okay. James,
like a brown squirt gun.
But it was like, honestly, the way that but fire hose is way more accurate. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that starts for James on December 16th. Starts for Neil, December 18th. I did not travel. My boys were supposed to be in school until the 23rd. So from the 19th until the 23rd, they were supposed to be in school. Neither of them was because they were so deathly ill, with the exception of Neil got a little bit better on Wednesday. And I was like, oh, we had a not fire hose. All right, Neil can go to school. Thursday night, supposed to go with friends to Descanso Gardens. Both boys at the same time get so violently ill. The next morning, it's their last day of school. It's a Friday. I go in to wake James up. The room smells, I don't know how to explain.
Funky.
Other than to say James had diarrhea himself in the night and had vomited himself in the night and then just slept in it. So, here's James. Hi, Lovey. Okay, you guys take over. Take over, because I'm solo right now.
Okay. Honestly, I feel like had that been scripted, that's exactly the way it would have come off, right? Because that's Christmas. I feel like that's the spirit of Christmas that she. Real quick, everybody, thanks for tuning in tonight to the Parents Lounge. It is December 27th.
Wait, we got to tell them we now qualify for stars. So if you're loving our show and you're watching us on Facebook, hit the little starsy button, and it helps us support this crazy little show.
That's true. God knows, I could honestly, a couple stars would make up for what's happening. I
don't get validated enough in my life, and Jamie actually cuts me down quite a bit. So I need the validation from all of you.
Well, I mean, you're not wearing your leather hat tonight, so you're safe with me. But I don't even know where to begin, man. We spent Christmas Day at LAX. We were supposed to fly to Colorado, and most people have probably done this. You say, well, listen, let's just fly Christmas Day because there's no travel. Nobody's traveling. So it was going to be great. And so the freeway there was wide open. We get to LAX, we park, we go in. We have tickets for Southwest, which you see it coming. Honestly,
not a paid sponsor. Again,
not a sponsor of ours so far. I wish they would. I wrote them a letter that is actually, you know what?
You're going to read it?
Yeah, I'll just read the letter I wrote to them. Yeah. All right,
I'm going to be honest. When you told me about the letter, you said it was done Jamie Kaler style, I was curious.
Well, here's the problem. You can't, I can't write it the way you have to stay within the corporate framework to get what you want.
Right.
Like if I should write a second letter, like you Emin effin son of a bling ding dong do. If I catch, I will light you up. But you can't do that because then you don't get. So the flight I took to Buffalo for our show in Sayre was delayed 2 hours. And so I did the same. I wrote them a crazy thing that said, hey man, you wasted my time, all this crap.
I'm interjecting only because James came in here and spilled my cider literally all over my keyboard, my mouse, and everything on my desk. So I am going to clean that up now, and I'll be back when I can.
That's how I lost my computer. I let Claire do homeschooling one time.
Fine. I don't know that that's the story I needed, Kaler, but thank you.
No, my computer, and it never turned on again. It died. It literally...
So you're still going with the story.
Jimmy, remember the lemons that we were trying to make into lemonade? I think you're going the other way. I think you're going the other way, buddy.
I'll be back when I can.
Well, you can make, it's like saying, oh, I have rat poison. Let me make lemonade out of it. There's no way to make, it's dead. The computer's dead. That computer's dead. Anyway, so I wrote a letter to them after a 2-hour delay, and they refunded my flight and gave me a voucher for like $150. So this was like 4 of us on Christmas Day. And this is what I wrote. And by the way, let me read the letter first and we'll start from there. Dear Southwest, you canceled our flight. After spending 11 hours on Christmas Day at the airport with my wife and 2 children, 7 and 9, I would like you to refund our entire flight, cancel and refund our return flight home, which we obviously won't be able to use, and then compensate us for our wasted time. I'm at a loss for words to describe how badly your poor business practices destroyed our family holiday that we had saved up all year to go on. Not true. For the last several hours of our torturous wait at LAX, we stared at our plane waiting at the gate and were repeatedly informed that you didn't have a pilot to fly said plane. It would have been comical if it wasn't so painful being stuck at the airport with 2 young children on Christmas. The annoying thing is that it was pretty obvious talking to your staff, who honestly were almost less informed than the potential passengers, that there was no way a pilot was going to be available. And yet you held us hostage at the airport for the whole day. We wanted to just leave, but we couldn't get our luggage back. I repeatedly asked just to cut us loose, and their only response was an uncaring point and the words, "Go to customer service." Oh, you mean stand in that line of 300 people waiting for hours to still get no answers? Sure. Great response. Or call a number where no one picks up? Ever? Even better. The sad thing is that I chose your airline. My wife wanted to fly someone else, but I have always had a good experience with Southwest. Well, no more. My wife and children have been emotionally scarred so badly by your terrible business model that just the words South and West in the same sentence will cause PTSD for them. I hope your airline survives this debacle. And if you want us as customers in the future, you need to make amends to my family in the form of a full refund plus a pretty large voucher for future flights. Oh, and a personal apology for holding us hostage for Christmas Day. Thanks. And again, I've had many wonderful experiences with your airline up until this absolute nightmare. Please cancel and refund our return flight from Denver to LAX, which we obviously won't be on. And do what's right. Good luck, Jamie Kaler.
And when did you send it?
I sent it to South. The Southwest has a little.
No. When did you send it?
Earlier today. I haven't heard anything. When you're dealing with corporate people, man, you pop one swear word in and they have the right to go. They'll hang up on you immediately. So you have to dance this edge of give me what is right, or I'm going to go ballistic and kill everybody. The only saving grace was that we were at our house. So when we finally did they canceled the flight, and then it took an hour and 15 minutes for us to get our luggage shoved back down to the carousel. The guy I had been hanging with all day, because I talked to everybody there. Everybody was losing their mind. Most people I talked to were already on vacation and couldn't get home. They had been.
That's crazy to me.
Dude,
how does that happen?
Dude, they not only couldn't get home, but so they would go to the airport, wait hours, have the flight finally canceled, stand in line for 2.5, 3 hours, rebook a flight for the following morning, find a hotel, check into the hotel, sleep, check out of the hotel, go back to the airport, wait 9 hours, have that flight canceled, stand in line again, get your new flight rebooked. The guy went 3 straight days for like 9 hours at the airport. I was like, dude, at some point, you've got to stop doing this. Hey, Michelle.
Hey, Michelle.
So we were my kids were sobbing. They were weeping.
When I talked to you, Claire was not okay.
No, she was a mess. I mean, they're okay now. The kids, they bounce back.
Yeah, they bounce back.
And we're in our own house, so. But there was
you weren't there. So what would you have done? So they make you leave the airport. Like, I mean, those hotel stays add up.
They pay for apparently they pay for a hotel. They do. Tell you they cover it. And then, I mean, they must be bleeding money. One of my buddies drove back from Phoenix. The people I was with were finally they rented a car and drove back to Denver. And then, utter chaos. And it sucks too, because I will tell you, I loved Southwest.
Me too.
It was great. And, it was almost comical. Everyone's like, oh, Jamie must have been losing his mind at the airport, but I wasn't. I sat in the terminal, and anytime a guy who looked like because we had the plane, they go, you have a plane for hours. We had the plane. No pilot. They couldn't find a pilot. They were like,
haven't you played a pilot before? Couldn't you have done it?
My wife, some people were like, he'll fly it. I go, sure, dude, let's take a shot at this. I saw a guy in like a Southwest jacket with the stripes on, and I go, dude, and he came over and he's like, not my flight, dude, not my flight. And it was utter chaos at the airport.
Let me just check eBay and see if we can get you a pilot's uniform from Southwest.
Dude, it was nuts. I mean, how is everybody else? Anybody else who's watching this? Did anyone else have? It's so crazy. So many people I know. Part of me, listen. At the end of the day, it would have been a really fun vacation. We had like ski lessons set for the kids. We had the whole trip planned. Here's what I will tell you, which was absolutely amazing. We canceled. I was like, I had a rental car waiting. We had a hotel. I called them all, told them the flight was canceled, and I thought for sure they were going to be like, yeah, we don't care, because a lot of stuff was prepaid. And they all, to a T, refunded. Avis, I'll give them a shout out. Totally, they were like, don't worry about it. Refunded everything. Hilton, was a Hilton hotel there. Totally refunded it. And also we had another night in a Marriott up at the ski resort. Totally refunded everything. Everybody was cool. We'll see if Southwest is cool. We'll see.
By the way, for $175, I can get you the uniform.
There you go. There you go. Listen, at the end of the day, I was losing my mind, but I also was reading the news and I'm like, oh, there's people in Buffalo who are absolutely buried in snow. And you're
So
like,
much snow. Yeah.
and people were dying. And you're like, okay, I was trying to talk to my kids and put it in perspective and go, listen, if this is the worst thing that ever happens they were like, this is the worst Christmas of all time. And I go, well, A, it's because you're 7. You've only had a handful and we've spoiled you rotten. So yeah.
Right. And 4 of those Christmases, they wouldn't really remember.
No. And they had more gifts than anyone. You should have had a drink. I did. Well, that was the other. So I had a drink or two, but here was the problem. All of a sudden it gets to the end of it's like 10 o'clock at night and the flight hasn't been canceled yet. And we'd been there since 11 in the morning. And, I would have sat and drank, but in the back of my head, I'm like, if this flight takes off, I'm going to land in Denver. I had to get into a rental car and drive 90 minutes to Boulder in the middle of the night. And everyone's like, oh, that's not a great drive, dude. It's like a weaving thing up a mountain. For 175, you can wear false hopes as narcolepsy. Oh, that's so funny, dude. How was everybody else's Christmas? I want to read a bunch of the comments. Actually, we had a great Christmas up until then.
Mine was, so this was the first year the twins understood what was happening. It was awesome.
Yeah, they're right at the perfect age where they still believe everything and it's still magic. And
well, yeah, here's another cool thing that happened is that Anthony started using words. And
for those of you who don't know,
my twins are nonverbal or have been labeled that way. And we were told they were never going to speak at all. And they are starting to piece together little words. And Anthony was very excited on Christmas Day, and he kept handing stuff to me and open, and mine. And then he would say ho, ho, ho for Santa, because it was just watching them so excited and hearing them actually start to talk was, for me, just awesome. It was a perfect dad morning.
That's awesome, dude.
It was.
Yeah, because I know, listen, the week before Christmas, you were buried in freezing cold ice razors. I called you. This is really funny. I called you and I said, hey, what's it like there? He goes, every time I walk out of the house, it's like I'm being hit with ice razors.
And we named a band after it.
That's right. We saw the Ice Razors open up for Supertramp, I think, back in 78.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the week before was complete garbage for me. Our boiler went in our house. We know that this impending sub-zero temperatures are coming at the end of the week. On top of when our boiler went, our water tank started to leak. I don't think I even told you this part. Started pouring water all over the floor in our basement. I'm like, why is my basement flooded? So I had to do 2 very expensive repairs the week before Christmas.
That's crazy. It's crazy.
It was not fun.
Yeah. It is a weird time of year. I don't know if any of you heard our little we did our rant for Sirius XM, which I guess played all Christmas, right? Let me read that as well. We did our Christmas rant, right? We had a Christmas rant that ran over
Sirius XM.
Over Sirius XM. Here, I'm just gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. For those of you who heard it already, enjoy. But this kind of summed up Christmas to me in a little capsule. Hey, how'd your Christmas go? Because it's the most stressful time of the year. As parents, we have to find that delicate balance between making sure our children are given the greatest holiday season of their lives and also averting bankruptcy. And by the way, if any of your little kids are listening with you, then thank goodness Santa is here to help us all, right? Because he's real. And Santa's the best. He's so generous, and luckily he takes your child's ridiculously long list of toys that they can't possibly live without and delivers every last one of them under the tree for the very low cost of a couple of cookies and a glass of milk. Pretty unselfish of this complete stranger to do. right? I mean, can you guys imagine out there if there was no Santa and the parents had to not only do all of the work making Christmas perfect, but also keep the secret that Santa doesn't exist and then not get any credit for buying that new bike? That would be nuts, right? None of us would do that. No one would subject themselves to that. And hey, let's not forget the elf on the shelf. Can you guys imagine if that weren't real either? The amount of work necessary to wait for your kids to go to sleep and then creep around the house designing new scenarios for the elf to inhabit every night for a month straight. Man, that would be criminally insane. But luckily, as parents, we're allowed to let Santa and the elves take care of all the work of Christmas. All we just sit back and prepare our end of year taxes. We can use all that free time we have in December to figure out which bulb on that string of lights is the culprit, or to get those 1 million Christmas cards out to everyone we've ever met in our life. And let's not forget that we need to give a Christmas bonus to apparently everyone we've ever had any business with over the last 12 months. Mailman, babysitter, gardener, pool guy, dude who delivers water. Hey, and don't forget your kids' teachers, because that's a big one. They need those gift cards, or your kids' grades will probably take a hit in the spring. Also, let's not forget the travel. Come on, who doesn't love to travel during the holidays? It's the best. Yes, everyone on Earth is traveling those same 2 weeks, but who cares? The more the merrier. Plus, it makes it easier to catch that flu that will kick our butt for the next month. And yes, the flights are super expensive, but if we don't eat any food for the month of January, we should be able to afford it. And of course, you're going to get snowed in for a few extra days, but that just means a few more nights sleeping on that fold-out couch with the bar that cuts into your back all night. Good times. For this Christmas, let's remember that it's going to be, actually, it's going to be super painful. It's a lot of work, costs a lot of money, but when you see a child come out on Christmas morning with stars in their eyes as they gaze upon this majestic tree lined with presents and then start crying as they wonder, why didn't Santa bring me my pony? You'll swear, I'm never doing this again. Right up until next year. Have a great Christmas, everyone. You earned it.
Oh, that's a Christmas classic.
That was
There it is.
Rant, Mulligan, that we had.
That ran on Sirius XM all weekend.
Oh, I love it. That's fantastic.
We had a New Year's Eve one. I don't know if we can play it yet. We kind of have a.
Well, it's not New Year's Eve yet.
No. But
I don't know that any of us will be around for New Year's Eve.
No,
I mean,
we're all gonna be-
physically, Kayla's usually the one that talks about his death. I'm talking about mine now because
We've all sort of switched roles today.
Yeah, yeah. I'm tapping out. Guys. Not really, but it was just so. This is the thing that sort of compounds what just happened. Dickie thinks he's now getting the stomach bug, so he is off in the office. So I am on the children. Neil is still. I didn't even get to give you guys the full rundown.
Let's get the full
Okay.
Monty here.
Full rundown. Yeah, I mean that's what this show.
So Friday morning, I walk in. It smells as if someone has fire hosed their diaper and has vomited their bed, which both had happened.
And it's not a fun mix anyway.
It's not a fun mix anyway, but I am leaving to go work the holiday shop at the boys' school for the final day of classes. And it's the holiday concert. So I have to go pick up what's called a Cambro of hot water from Starbucks. And then I had to get there. So I basically say to Dickie at that point, like, okay, James is not going to school today. You can leave the mess. I'm putting him in the bath. I get a call while I'm at the school. Neil at that point starts having diarrhea again, starts having fire hose again. So I said, okay, Neil is also missing his last day of school. I know he was at school yesterday. He's missing today. Neither of them will be in their Christmas concerts. I'm going to have a cry about this as parents are starting to arrive to the holiday show. But that's fine. It's fine. Because it's not triggering. It doesn't trigger me because the last week of first grade last year was when we got COVID and Neil missed his last week of first grade.
I remember that.
Listen, it wasn't triggering at all. So I wasn't definitely
Let me ask
crying.
you really quick. Is this part of your new Christmas tradition?
I don't know that we're having any Christmas ever again because so basically I then get a text from Dickie while I'm at the school saying, James just had diarrhea in the bath. I'm like, yep, leave it. It's okay. If one of us is going to get sick, it's got to be me because you actually have work. And okay. So I know at this point I'm coming back to diarrhea bed, vomit bed, diarrhea bath. and I am selling donuts and coffee and tchotchkes outside of a concert my children are not part of. And at this point, if you can't tell, I've started to feel sorry for myself at this point, because I've also at this point called my father on the way from picking up the Starbucks to sell it at the holiday shop. I've called my father, who is on year 12 now, going on year 12 of stage 4 prostate cancer, which has escalated in the past year. And I'm saying, I don't know that we're going to be able to get on a plane on Monday, which is the day after Christmas. We had planned. I said, and he's like, of course not. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Get the boys better. This is awful. I then also get to collect a fire hose sample for our doctor.
Hey, really quick. I don't want to, I'm going to interrupt. I'm going to interject occasionally because we have to find some humor. And when you said, oh, everyone's sick in my house. And then I manned the booth and started selling donuts to people.
Yeah.
Part of me was like, oh, those donuts sound delicious.
Why did no one send me home?
Would you like that donut with or without virus?
This is how desperate they are for volunteers at the school. Everyone knew the situation.
Well, I mean, Southwest can't even find pilots. That's a paid job.
Listen, I know you have cholera, but is there a way you could work the booth?
And can I tell you what it was?
I'm going to be just fine.
Can I tell you what it was? All of them were 4th and 5th grade parents, except for me and one other woman. And if I left, that meant one of them would miss their 4th and 5th grader actually the whole thing is whatever. The bottom line is
everyone at school has cholera. Everyone at school has cholera at this point, or is it?
No. So here's the thing.
Dengue fever. What is it?
So Friday. So I've now dropped off a stool sample to James's doctor, and I've said I need a Zofran for my son yesterday. Give me a prescription for Zofran, which for those of you who don't know, if you've ever been pregnant, you're allowed to take it in the 2nd trimester. It basically calms the stomach, so it makes you not vomit. So the virus will still pass. It will go down, but at least James won't be puking and fire hosing. So I'm able to get all of these things. I get home and I have to do all of the laundry. It is now the first day of holiday break. I've now postponed our trip on Southwest until tomorrow, the 28th. I'm like, by Wednesday, they'll have to be okay. James is on day 8. Neil's on day 6. It's going to be fine by the 28th. And then here comes some lemonade. Christmas Eve, so the day after this Friday, and Christmas Day, the boys were both fine. Just totally fine. And I'm like, we have turned the corner. We let them Christmas night have Christmas food. We let them have the pasta. Dickie made braciole. He made Italian. So we let them have what they wanted because we're like, okay, our friends are here. They've risked it. We don't know if this is salmonella or if this is listeria or whatever this is.
You brought friends over to your house?
We told them everything. That's how desperate. Kayla, you know this. You know this better than anybody.
I would not.
I agree. I also wouldn't have. But when you are in LA with no family anywhere, you are desperate to not be the only one that sees your kids on Christmas. Desperate.
Not true.
Oh, I am.
I spent so many Christmases in bars. It wasn't even funny.
No, but that has nothing to do with kids. Did you hear my words? You don't want to be with your kids alone all day on Christmas.
Oh, wait, you didn't want to or they don't want to? I'm confused.
No one wants to. When you have Christmas Day, all you do is sit with your own kids all day. No, you're like, I want to go.
See, I actually prefer that.
Oh my God, I want out.
I spend Christmas Day with my kids.
You don't want to be with. You don't want them to like be with other people when you don't have family.
No.
Oh my God, I want out so badly. Nothing makes me sadder.
Well, I
Christmas
want out.
alone.
Listen, don't get me wrong. I want out. I mean, I want out. But I'm confused. Christmas Day, you sat and you opened presents with your kids, and then
I wanted nothing. And then I was like, "This is so sad. If this is all it is, this is so sad." Because my Christmases of my childhood were full of family. It was then there's then there's a dinner, and there's a this, and there's a that, and this is our best friends here. And I got to tell you, I said, "Listen, here's the situation. You've been hearing the situation all along." I don't know. I don't have evidence that it's not a virus yet. I don't have evidence that it is a virus, but this is the situation, and we can also do it on the 28th. We can do it on the 27th. We can do it whenever. And she was like, honestly, we feel good about it. So we gave them their own bathroom where the boys had not been. And my boys wore masks. And everybody's fine so far. But that being said, that was on them. But I
love it. You guys seem safe. That's someone who's insane. That's insanity.
But I have to say, I just feel like holidays alone. And I think it's also because like it happened like when I was like in the middle of postpartum depression, but like the worst Christmas I remember was James had just been born and we were by ourselves. And I was like, there's nothing today. There's nothing today. Like it's like, there's no one that's going to come see me. There's no one that's going to like eat dinner. Like I want festivity. I want like company. I want to go somewhere. And we had nothing. Anyway, obviously that's just a me thing and my friends.
So it's so weird to me. Well, I mean, you guys have met my family, so you understand I would never want innocent children to have to be subjected to that.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Here's how I know Mulligan's had the worst Christmas that anyone could ever have. There's no humor to it. Have you noticed that, Jason?
I've also been looking. I'm like, there's nothing for me.
Well, it's not done. It's not done.
Well,
it's not done.
Try to throw a punchline in there. This is one of the saddest, most horrific Christmas stories I've ever heard.
It's very honest, though.
Cut to yesterday is the 26th. I am sure we've turned the corner. Dickie and I I say, you know what? Let's have our Christmas today. Let's actually, you and I, he's like, let's make dark and stormy. We made dark and stormies. We got a little drunk. We let Neil stay up late because he had, Neil has had like a little bit of an upset stomach yesterday, but we're like, we've turned the corner. The boys are fine. They've been fine for 2 days. 3:00 in the morning this past night, Neil wakes up vomiting like I've never seen a human vomit. This is now day 12, ladies and gentlemen, day 12. And we had 3 days off. I don't have humor about this. And by the way, when I woke up to deal with my child who was scream vomiting, because that's the other thing, is when my phone, he literally goes, have mercy.
That's funny. No, come on, that's a punchline.
Funny.
It's by the way, it's not my job. It's not my job to make this funny, guys. These are the lemons. You got to.
No, that's my job.
Oh, yeah, you did. She did charge us with that.
I'll take that job.
I will say this: he's scream vomiting at that, and that is the point. I see. What time is it? Oh my God, it's 3:00. He's puking. Okay, that is the point at which I see Southwest has canceled our flight for tomorrow.
Which is almost a blessing in a real.
There's no question, because can I tell you what? So then we find out today, we get the call from the doctor's office. It is not salmonella. It's not listeria. It's literally just a virus that will not leave my sons alone. Dickie believes he has it now. That's why he's.
By the way, that's the actual medical term for the Black Plague, I believe.
The Black Plague. Yep.
Yeah, it's the virus.
And then James came in and spilled. I was like, I'm just gonna at least have a relax. I'm gonna have a relax and have a cider. And James came in and spilled it. I don't know if you guys know this. Before Dickie had a job, I had the office, and I had my desk, and I had like years of having an office. And I'm now on a wicker table from our backyard that's in the corner of my room. I don't know if you guys know how wicker tables work, but if liquids spill on them, it's not ideal. It just seeps in. So it's still dripping down my leg. It's okay because it's great. He has the office. He's got the job. I get it. But also all of our, I pay all the bills.
That's exactly right.
This is exactly right, Troy. I will tell you this. It's just all of the reimbursements I needed from my psychiatrist that got ruined just now in the cider spill, and our property tax statement, and all of our bills from the dentist. It's fine. The keyboard is going to dry out. I'm sure of it. So
it won't. It's dead.
Okay.
So listen, hey,
I believe in your keyboard, Kate.
No, the keyboard's gonna be just fine, Mulligan.
It's gonna be fine. It's fine. Throw in some rice.
If I walk into my kid's room and I go, did you have diarrhea and vomit simultaneously throughout the night? We're moving. That house is dead. That's like when you do sell that house, you may have to
disclose
have to declare like when people get murdered in the house.
Yeah.
You might have to declare that, and people go, hey, this house is beautiful. I go, just so you know, this bedroom, it's been selling.
Yeah.
My son violently.
Yeah.
Dude,
But-
it's like you lived Die Hard, the movie, because it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But you weren't Bruce Willis. You were Ellis.
Yeah.
You were Ellis, the coke addict who then gets shot in the head. That's how.
Oh,
Like, if
that
you
sounds
look
no.
at-
That actually sounds nice. Is that an option? Can someone shoot me in the head?
Well, I mean, I don't feel like that's we're
No,
quite
we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
You know
We're not
what?
there. Yet.
Hey, why hasn't anyone ever made? You know how everyone has Christmas things. I'm gonna get a gray
No.
sweatshirt, and
Yeah.
it just says "ho ho ho." Do you know how he writes "ho ho ho" on the dead dude
Yes.
before he sends him back down? He breaks the dude neck in the stairwell, and he's got the gray thing, and he puts "ho ho ho." Now there's only 5 or something. Why isn't that a real like Christmas sweatshirt?
It's got to be on Etsy or something.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's got to be.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. It probably is.
Ho,
It's
ho,
gotta-
ho.
it's gotta be out
He
there.
goes, now there's only 6 of you or something. What does he say? Dickhead? He says dickhead or something on there.
I don't. I'm at a loss here. But does the
I
road
didn't
still
watch
sound
it
good?
this year.
Does the road still sound good, guys? Because the road got cidered.
Yeah, you're okay.
What's worse than spilling? What's worse than spilling fermented apple? Like the
My
smell.
daughter just spilled straight up water on my MacBook Air, and
Mm-hmm.
and I took it to the Genius Bar. By the way, if there was ever the improper use of a term, it's the Genius Bar. And the dude didn't even open. He's like, "Yeah, it's dead. You can't. I'm gonna get anything out of that."
Yeah.
Thanks for the help, brother.
I will give you I will give you lemonade.
All right,
I
let's
will.
get
Are you ready for it?
lemonade, buddy.
Last night. So two pieces of lemonade. The first is
Hold on. Troy, go back. It goes ho ho ho. Now I have a machine gun. Is that right, Troy? That's right, isn't it? God, I love our audience. I love Troy. I think that's
I know.
right. Is
Listen,
that right?
Troy,
He says
course
ho
it
ho
is.
ho.
of course
Coke
it
and
is.
bullets.
Yeah, airing December 31st.
You know what? Somebody should do a Die Hard prequel, and it's Ellis's story. And we know how it ends. It ends horribly.
Yeah.
Coked out of his mind.
Whew.
Bubby. What's he say? Bubby, I got this.
You could almost shoot it like the beginning of American Beauty when Kevin Spacey's talking about his own death. You could literally do it just like that.
Even in there's a lot of movies where the narrator is like, "Hey," they die at the end, and they go, "You didn't see that coming." That's the oldest trick in the book of like, "Hey." Yeah, I think in Pesci, Joe Pesci it narrates like Goodfellas, and at the end he's like, I didn't make it. That's fun. And now I have a machine
Spoiler
gun.
alert. Thanks,
Oh,
Taylor.
oh,
No, I
oh.
can't watch.
Now I have a machine gun. How is that? That's got to be a real sweatshirt.
It's got to be a shirt. I'm
But
sure.
also, I don't think let's go back and unpack that. Do we think it's actually a shirt people would wear
Yes,
in this day and
absolutely,
age.
without question.
in this day and age?
You would sell a
Yes,
million of
absolutely.
them. Oh,
Oh,
not even a
okay.
question.
Okay. Okay.
And on the
You
back,
think,
it says
you think that
yippee-ki-yay,
someone
yeah.
in public's going to wear, even whether or not people understand the reference, you think somebody's going to wear a sweatshirt saying, now I have a machine gun?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe. I think the ho 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 sells it. I love that Troy says. I feel like. That
Oh
line
no,
really
the
was
shirt
ridiculous.
does in fact exist.
Is it sold out? Like you guys?
We can't see it. Is that what Brent just found it? Didn't he? We can't see it though. I can't see it. Can you?
I'm trying to.
I
can't
know.
see
Hold it even. It just looks really bright. Wait, where were the 2 lemons? Says narcolepsy.
So the 2 lemons.
Hey, see if you can bring it up and then bring the photo.
Yeah, I am. That's what I'm doing right now.
So the 2
wait,
lemons.
Let's get to the lemonade of this.
So the 2 lemons are one. On Friday, I got that prescription of Zofran for James. So when Neil was on his 2.5 hour of puking last night, and there was nothing, it was just dry heaving, and he was screaming, "Please, God, please, God, please!" And I was like, okay. I don't think that one's gonna go. That's fallen on deaf ears, my friend. I was able to give him the Zofran, and the Zofran stopped it immediately. Lemon
Was that
one.
the same time you picked up your new prescription for Valium? Were they?
I mean, there's not enough Zoloft in this house to get me through these days. The other lemonade,
Oh, sorry.
created a core memory. That's always positive, right? Because last night when I went to get the Zofran, Neil, who was so deeply ill, my little bald 7-year-old who has been diapered for the past 12 days, has fallen asleep on the toilet with the bucket in his hand, because for a while he was doing both and I come in, he's asleep on the toilet, head back, and he is unwillingly shitting and just diarrhea everywhere. There you go. Now I have a machine
I
gun.
love that shirt so much.
Well, we gotta get it for you, Kaylor.
Now I have a machine gun. The problem is, you're right, Mulligan. Somebody be like, "Hey, man, that's not cool." And you're like, "Have you seen Die Hard?" And they go, "What's Die Hard?"
Well, or they would know, but they would be like,
Actually,
someone's gonna call and be like, "There's a guy
somebody
here
would
with a machine
shoot
gun."
you, and then go, "He said he had a machine gun."
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Honestly, you're absolutely right.
I would be completely fine to wear it here.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You are fine.
I think I think you get rid of the machine gun line and just keep the ho ho ho, because if you know, you know. The ho 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 sells it all. With it's written like that, ho ho ho. So
Yeah.
Mulligan, I got to tell you, I feel terrible for you, man. I'm so
Yeah, me
sorry.
too,
You
buddy.
sent us the photo of your son, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I was telling my wife, because we had a horrible Christmas, and then I was telling my wife about your Christmas. She's like, oh, no, that sounds way worse.
But it's also like, it's just, I'm sure if I had your Christmas, I would be this upset about it. Like, this is something, I just talked about this with a friend recently. My sister once said the smartest thing, and I'm gonna get deep here. And I know we don't love not funny Kate, but
No, I like deep. I like deep.
She's going with it.
Okay.
My sister once said that pain or grief or whatever is like a gas. Like, think about science. And then everybody's given a test tube. Jason's given a giant beaker. His wife's going to have a stroke 2 days after she delivers the twins. That gas, that pain is going to fill his beaker. I've been given a little beaker. My boys are going to be sick for 2 weeks. It's going to be really hard. But the gas still fills your beaker. Whatever the pain, it fills whatever it fills you. It fills, like, that's what gas does. It spreads out. And yes, some people have a bigger beaker than others. Some people have but my test tube, like, my little beaker, my little test tube, my pain is going to fill it. It's going to take up my time and energy. And if I had a way worse problem right now, the pain would also still fill that one. So it's just, and because I think what happens is people are like, oh, you have it way worse than me. No, guess what? You get to be filled up by, like, that's what pain does. It just fills us. It just, and even if your beaker is smaller or bigger than someone else's, it doesn't mean that you're not entitled to feel it or to grieve about it. And
Absolutely.
And I just feel like that to me is like, I can, like, yes, we can say like, oh, you have it so hard right now. There are blessings in this. My father cannot get a virus. That's all there is to it. My dad dies if we give him anything. So yeah, Southwest canceled my flight. We're not, so
Southwest may have saved your father's life.
For all we know. And the other thing is, I now have that. This was just a one-way trip. $2,000 Southwest credit, because that's how much that flight had cost us.
Yeah, ours was too. Ours was crazy expensive.
4 of us to fly one way to Chicago was $2,000. So now I've got a credit on an airline that's about to be subpoenaed by the Department of Transportation. Pete Buttigieg.
Pete Buttigieg is gonna get.
Pete Buttigieg he's already put stuff out there. He's like,
he's going to
we got to investigate. I'm like, oh no, but I need to be able to use those credits someday.
It's so funny. My wife said something to me today. She's like, well, you don't understand. I go, Kate, of course I understand. Here was what was really hard. It was my wife's 1 week of the year where she could, she has a job that is like not 24/7, but it is 24/7. You're always kind of on call. Like, people reach out to you and stuff. And this was the 1 week she was like off the books. And so she's like beside herself. And she goes, you don't understand. And I was like, well, I was in the Navy for 5 years. I'm pretty sure I understand exactly when you have a very limited time of, I get it. It always makes me laugh when she's like, you don't understand. I've been on Earth a long time. I pretty much get it. But we always have the same kind of thing where I always say to her, like, she loses her mind over the most minuscule little things. And I'm always like, look, one day something really bad is going to happen. This isn't it. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Like, we were there for Christmas Day, and all of our friends were like, Jamie must have lost his mind. She was like, no, actually, Jamie was pretty calm about the whole thing. Because I was just cracking jokes. Like, I kind of kept everybody laughing at the terminal because I was like, this is kind of comical, right? And everyone was like, yeah. I go, and my kids are sobbing. And so actually my kids were crying by the flight attendant who was waiting, like we were standing by the line or something. And I said, you guys must have been bad this year. We didn't know it, but you were on the naughty list. And now the flight got canceled for that. And everyone was like, oh my God.
He is not lying, because when I was on the phone with him, I heard him say it to Claire.
I said it to Claire. I said, Claire, I thought you were being good, but apparently you must have been on the naughty list.
Of all
because-"
children to say it to, Claire is not the one.
And then I told her I was joking or whatever. But I told the kids, I said, listen, I said, and this is kind of true too, that in my life, everything's kind of worked out. Like even when something goes horribly wrong, like when that flight was canceled for you, I would argue you may have saved your father's life because you bring your son, your kid there, and the virus. Like I always tell my kids, I go, it's the old God. What he closes the door, he opens the window or something.
Yeah.
I'm always of that vein of like, look, like people go, this road's closed. You're like, all right, I'll find somewhere else. I don't like. It's not that important anymore to me. I'm like, I just don't care. I was like, yeah, I guess. I mean, I was kind of more pissed that they held us hostage because I kept saying to the woman, I go, look, just release our luggage and let us go, man. The reason we can't leave is because I don't want to come back tomorrow and try to find my luggage at LAX, dude. Just give us our luggage and let us get out of here. And she's like, that was the other thing that annoyed me. Like people wouldn't, this guy goes to walk by, I go, hey, he goes, I can't answer any questions. And he held his hand over his ears.
Wow.
Like, I go, and I kept going. I know you're numb. I know people are lighting you up. And the guy was like, la, 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 and he ran away. He ran away from me, the Southwest employee. And part of me was like, I totally get it, dude.
Yeah.
I'm surprised no one's killed you yet in this.
That is also why I'm sure nobody's showing up to work also. Because like, why, like if who's like, I'm going to go show up and get murdered. That's fun. That's what
Finally, one flight attendant stepped up and I kept asking people, I go, look, just be honest. And she goes, and one woman was like, look, it's Christmas Day. Any pilot who hasn't flown today is not picking up their phone. And any pilot who's already flown, they have a window. And if they can't, they're not going to be able to fly anyway. She goes, I've been doing this for 22 years. You ain't going tonight. And I go, thank you. And I said, finally, we were like, let's just leave. We left our luggage. We were going to leave our luggage at LAX and we go to leave. And just as I was exiting the airport, I said, let me just check one last chance. And I flipped open the app and it said canceled. And I said, oh. And then it took another hour and 15 minutes to get our luggage out.
To get the luggage.
Yeah. But I was like, same thing. And it kind of worked out in a weird way of like, oh, thank God. Because now I don't have to come back here tomorrow.
Yeah.
I know. Joey, it is. It absolutely, dude, it's the Chinese restaurant episode where the people are stuck at the gate. Because here's the other thing. Unfortunately, I go, let me scout. Let me find food. My wife goes, hey, there's an Earth Cafe. We go over. Earth Cafe only has tea and coffee. They don't have any of their food. No food. So after like scouring we were in Terminal 1. We walked all the way over to the international terminal to use the Centurion Lounge because we have an Amex card. So we go into the Centurion Lounge. It was like Hunger Games in there. Like it was mobbed with people. I was like, I'm out of here, dude. And so we go back to Terminal 1. Here's what's crazy. I woke up all I did was go to LAX, wait at the airport, then come home. All I did all day. The next day, I'm like super sore. I go, what happened? I opened my health app in my phone, 12,000 steps.
Oh,
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
12,000 steps.
I believe that.
Yep. Crazy.
And I missed the part of the story because James was spilling smelly cider on my stuff. What was in Denver? Was it family or was it just a fun vacation?
We do. Yes. We have family there. Okay. We were going to visit. And actually, that's who I felt the worst for. Because they were expecting us and they had set up so much for my kids. Oh, yeah. They hadn't seen my kids in forever.
Yeah.
And
going through that too.
It was really devastating for them more so than us by a long shot. It was really.
Is your sister there too, Kate?
My sister's there. She is going through a gnarly divorce right now, and it's been really tough on my parents. I think the only thing they were looking forward to was my boys coming in. So here's the other piece of lemonade. My boys, because they had school all last week, they still have one more week of school after this one. Okay. Yes, Narcolepsy 27.
It's so funny. We weren't going to do a show tonight, but I was like, it's so cathartic because I end up smiling because all of our regulars, you guys crack me up so hard. I can't. This is why when I talk to people, I go, yeah, you can listen to us on iTunes, which is cool, or hear it later. But in the moment with everybody, Narcolepsy, I don't know what Jobo's been, But everybody else, Joey
Yeah.
Steelers, cracking jokes, man. You
Yeah.
guys, honestly, it's super cathartic.
Super
So
cathartic.
thank you for being the keyboard wizards that you are. And the punchlines make me laugh. And then I finish this show and I go, yeah, I'm okay. Everything's
I'm
pretty
okay.
good. Yeah.
I also like I think there's also some part, like, I think right now I don't find social media to be helpful because it is just people who made it to their destinations, who are with their family or whatever. But I think the other thing that sort of is, and I don't know, this is, again, I'm not going to speak for everybody. I'm just going to speak for myself because clearly I was alone on the last one. But I feel like because the COVID times, nobody could travel anywhere. I I really look forward to not being in my house. Like, I really looked forward to and then I'm going to go to someone else's house for a week and a half and they're going to cook for me. And it's an upstairs, downstairs house. And my kids are going to play in the basement. And there's part of me now, it's like, what are we going to do with this house? I am so done being stuck in this house. I just wanted to sort of get away. So, but also, if I did it for 2 years straight, I could do this.
Exactly. I don't want to go too crazy late tonight because
let's not.
I feel like there's no reason to punish ourselves. But I do want to talk about. I want Jason to tell us some of the wonderful stories because it's a parenting show, and yes. We are all understanding the nightmare that is.
Yes. But we're done. It's done.
Parenting. I mean, I'm trying to get my kid. She has an extra credit packet and she has some book reviews. I sat for 2 hours and read The Wizard of Oz with my daughter today, alternating pages, which, by the way, I don't know if you know this, the book's very different from the movie.
Yeah. Dark, right?
It's dark, but she's also way younger. She's like a kid, 9 years old.
Yeah.
And even the flippers are ruby. They're not ruby, they're silver.
I know Jason has a big thing to tell us about Christmas, which
I told it while you were gone.
Oh, you did? Okay, but I just really want to say I didn't get to tell you guys. Stephanie Hansen got engaged.
Oh, Stephanie!
Sarah proposed
Wonderful!
last week.
Congratulations!
Yes, we found out on SEN or on Brett and Kate's Playdate or whatever it was. But yeah, Stephanie Hansen is she's off the market, ladies. Leave her be.
They are adorable. I really enjoyed meeting them.
Yes.
Well, we'll have to do some 4 non-blondes for them.
That's right.
I said, hey, out here.
Oh, what's going on? 25 years.
Let's tell some happy. I know that most of the funny is tragedy plus time. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm really excited about? I'm excited that Christmas is over. I'm excited Christmas is over.
Yeah.
I always am. I think Christmas is always anticlimactic. I like the weeks before Christmas, leading up to Christmas, I think are super fun. I think Christmas can never live up to the expectations. And then New Year, it was everyone tries to make it the greatest night of their lives and it's a disaster. I like going back in January. Am I the only one who likes to get back and get motivated for stuff?
No, I definitely not. I could not. January means nothing to me. January can S my D all day long. You
love the whole Christmas shenanigans of it all.
I think I do, but I also, there's something that's so great about 2 weeks of, honestly, other piece of lemonade, the naps I have taken the past 2 days. Whew. I don't care how much screen time the boys have.
I've always had jobs where I don't work ever the same hours that normal people work.
Yeah.
So for me, everyone's Friday, Saturday was never. When I was a bartender, Monday was the greatest day of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the night you would go out, you get the best service. I like those days. And so for me, Christmas vacation was always a time when everybody has off. I don't like that. I like times when 90% of the population is at work and I'm off because that's the way. So, I like it when it gets back to January, the kids are back in school. I can kind of go back to my own normalcy of writing or whatever shows I'm doing. And then everyone else is back at work because we tried to go to the mall today to, return something or other. And it was Hunger Games, man. It's a nightmare in there.
Yeah. I actually haven't ventured out at all in 3+ days. So
there's just too many people out there.
Yeah.
We need to call the herd.
We all got stuck here. That's the problem. Usually LA's empty.
LA is normally, actually, LA during Christmas is great. Normally.
The best normally.
I know. My kids were like, let's go to Disneyland. I was like, oh, dude, slow down.
No.
I saw one of our friends posted, I forget, on Instagram, I saw a picture they had posted a picture from Disneyland, and it looked like that alleyway in Japan. It was like wall-to-wall people. We were like, are people dying at Disneyland in a massive crush? Because that's way too, did they limit the number of tickets on a daily basis, or were they just letting everyone in? Because it looked like a Who concert in 1977 in Cleveland.
Oh, man.
Was it Cincy? I think it was Cincinnati. I'm not sure.
Neither of us was going to be able to call you on that, so we'll go with whatever you said. We'll go with whoever you said.
Talk to my wife. She's like, oh, you don't know. Oh, trust me. I know. I wish I didn't know everything.
It must be hard to be.
I know.
So much
Wait,
knowledge.
so Jason,
we are going to go sledding / skiing because here's the other thing. We went to REI.
Big Bear?
Too much money on ski gear.
Oh,
I haven't skied in 25 years, so I had to go get a jacket and ski pants and gloves. I didn't have gloves to go skiing in Colorado.
Did you also stock up on ibuprofen for when you inevitably fall and break your hip?
Please, ibuprofen, please. Yeah, I stocked up on some. I stocked up on some stuff that's gonna be.
Well, I can't say that on here.
No. I mean, I got some ibuprofen.
Okay.
Please, that's a daily reminder.
So, as I said, the twins really. I mean, it was just they were so excited, and like everything was a big deal. Every present was a big deal, and Jace was so excited. Anthony was yelling open and telling us like there were cars in some of them. He would get very excited. It was a car. But one of the coolest things is, so my wife told Jace a story about how when she was little, and we now know that my in-laws went outside and made it seem like Santa was landing on the roof and rang jingle bells and they were stomping. So I went into the next room over from him and got up into the far corner. I used my replica Thor hammer and I banged on the roof. I pulled up jingle bells on the app on my phone and I played it all in. And then I made a bunch of noise. And then I had Santa go back up. And then I played the app and then I got it softer and softer and softer till he couldn't hear it anymore. And so now he had the exact same experience Melissa did as a kid, hearing Santa land on the roof.
Oh my gosh. And he didn't come out of his room during that.
No, we have a very strict law that if he was awake, Santa won't leave anything. So he was pretending to be asleep.
But he told you the next day he heard it.
Melissa was still in there with him.
Oh my God. That's so sweet. I love that. Yay.
That's awesome.
It was the next morning he came down and he was just jazzed. My favorite thing he said though was, man, Santa wolfed those cookies right down.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, buddy, you have no idea.
He also went in the cupboard and ate the rest of the cookies.
Yeah.
And he also polished off a few of Daddy's brewskis.
It's funny that I'm going to have to say this quiet because Neil is still awake. But the night before on Christmas Eve, Neil had like a real existential crisis. He's 7. It feels way too young. And this is just part of me that's like, oh, LA kids are ruining this for him. Because he's like, just tell me the truth. Just tell me the truth. I need to know. Is he real? And I was like, what do you think? And he's like, well, I know you're the Easter Bunny. I'm like, what? Like, this was like news to me. Dickie's laughing his ass off. Has to leave the room. He's like, because Neil goes, if I find out that my hero isn't real and I've been being good for nothing. And we're like, Neil, that's not why you've been being good. You're good because that's what your heart tells you to do. You don't like when, And I was like, you know the truth in your heart. What's the truth? And you know the truth in your heart. Keanu Reeves is real. Yes, Harry Styles is real. Neil, believe me, I have to pinch myself every day. But I was like, where did this come from? Even he's like, I don't want to say who told me, but everybody says it's just you. And I was like, okay, check the house. Check the house. Go ahead. Go to my closet. Go anywhere. Because they were in the garage. So check the house. Go ahead. Find them. Find the gifts. If it's me, he's like, no, you're going to Target once I go to bed to buy everything. It's like, no, I can honestly say that is not happening. And I was like, Dad has had alcohol. Mom has had alcohol. Neither of us is driving tonight. Okay. That's not what's going to happen. But it really broke my heart. And so I then at 10:45 at night was like, okay, I want to just keep him hooked for one more year. I don't know why I want to keep this lie going. I could have just at that point ended it all. Part of it is my fault because I told him the elf wasn't real.
We told you. We tried to tell you.
He was like, I told him that because he was like, how come we don't do that? I'm like, because it's not real.
That was the hardest thing this whole month.
That's what this is.
Is like punch in the face. Fucking.
This is what everyone says, that it's the absolute. If you've seen that video where there was there are children running, screaming up from the basement, and mom's like, "What's happened? What's happened? What's happened?" And the one little girl comes up, "She's touching it! She's touching it!" And they're all beside themselves because one of the little kids had picked up the elf. It was touching the elf. Anyway, all of this is to say, I go over to my neighbor's house at 10:45. I'm like, I need your handwriting on this and this and this and this and this. The first thing that happens when we wake up, Neil goes, he left a note. He left a note. He's real. I was like, whew. Because it was not my handwriting. And he would have sussed that out. So bless my neighbors for being willing for me to come over with a Sharpie at 10:45 and have them sign a bunch of things from the big man.
So Hannah had such an attitude Christmas morning. I was like, she knows.
Oh.
She was like, Claire was like, what? Here we go. And Hannah was like, no, okay, what? Oh, great. Look what I got. I got this. Oh my God. Did I get that? She was kind of a fucking pill.
Yeah.
I go, yeah. I mean, she's 9 though.
Yeah. 9's better than 7.
They had a body talk at school, so I'm sure. You know. Hey, on a side note, have you seen there was a big write-up of a story of a woman who from minute one was like, I'm not playing this game, and she told her kids right out of the chute, she's like, none of it's real, it's all a joke. And she doesn't want to gaslight her kids by telling them it's
I get it.
Did you see that?
No, but I'm very conflicted.
It was a national story. But we're saying we're doing it out of our own. Like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to have to do. I don't want this job. But she was saying it because she thinks she's doing harm to her children by propagating this lie. I'm gaslighting them. I'm teaching them that lying is good. I'm like, now you're being a pain in the ass.
I agree because I sort of feel like
being lazy. As soon as she used the term gaslighting, she lost me. That's just her trying to excuse her own laziness.
I think here's what if somebody wants to say it's very conflicting because we tell our kids not to lie and here we are doing this big lie. I hear that, but also I feel like we can tell our kids, you don't need to lie to me. Don't lie to people. But also, all of us lies at some point because there are good lies. Does this dress make me look fat? You look lovely. Do you feel good in that dress? Do you know what I mean? Like, we all, on some level, there is such a thing as a useful lie.
Couldn't agree more.
See, I also see it as, it's a great way to explore imagination. I think there are great worlds you can create together with that. I really like that part of it.
It's just fun.
It's
fun.
It's
like when I did the paranormal stuff, everyone's like, oh, do you believe? I go, it's just more fun to go along for the ride. Like in most
things,
also
it makes you a lot more money when you believe.
It's really fun to go along for the ride. Like, it's the old improv game. Just man. Enjoy the ride. And who cares at the end? That's the other thing. It's like, who cares? Why are you being such a curmudgeon about this? It makes me laugh.
Well, it's funny because I almost feel like I know who it came from in Neil's class, but I do think there are parents that just are like, just done doing this. And then it ruins it for everybody, right? Because I said to one of my friends' moms as we were walking down the hill from school, I was like, so wait, does Santa have to get to St. Louis? That's so annoying. She's like, oh no, we don't do that. And I was like, oh, okay. And I wanted to be like, did you tell your kid not to say anything to my kid about it at least? But it was like almost like offensive that I implied that because that's always been hard when I travel to be somewhere on Christmas, that when that Santa has to get there. I'm not bringing Santa, like I have to send Santa ahead of time to get all their stuff there. So I thought that was like a reasonable question. Like, oh, do you have to get Santa to Santa? Does all the Santa stuff have to get to St. Louis? And she was like, no, we don't do that.
Somebody did say it to Jace at school, and he immediately quoted Buddy the Elf, and he said, "Parents couldn't do that all in one night."
That's really funny. That's really funny.
So I thanks, Buddy, for the
Buddy
save there. But he was very adamant. He was like, I asked him, I was like, "What do you think about it? What they said?" And he's like, "Dad, it's ridiculous. There's no way you've done all those things." And I was like, "You're right," because
you know what's funny? I had bought Hannah a MacBook Air. I bought her a laptop. She's 9. And this is actually a great question for other people who are watching this, because she's 9. I bought her a laptop computer because I was like, gosh, she should learn to type or whatever. And we had it for like 3 weeks, and I returned it on the Christmas Eve. I went back to Best Buy and returned it because I had this panic attack. I'd seen something about some kid, online or something. I was like, I returned the computer because I was terrified for some reason about her being on a computer. I don't know why. And I just thought it wasn't ready. She wasn't ready for it. And I also didn't think she wanted a laptop. I think maybe she might want an iPad mini or something. I don't know.
Oh, right.
But I ended up returning this thing for like, whatever it was, like $800 or whatever. And because I was like, I don't know. I had this weird like last minute thing where I was like, I'm not giving her this. And I took it back to the Best Buy the day before Christmas.
Listen,
you're not getting it.
You're not gonna. It's funny. I am also like, I'm conflicted about like, does anybody have experience with their kids with Roblox?
I don't have any, but I have heard the craziest stories about it.
Yeah, I feel like I just don't. It's like an open world where people can
Carlos is the one you want to talk there. His kids were in there extensively.
Yeah. I gotta get back in touch with Carlos then, because every once in a while I'm like, what are you watching, Neil? What are you playing? And he's like, Roblox.
Dude,
and it's like somebody's game.
There's a 60 Minutes with it's all about social media, and it's about the lawsuits. There are hundreds of lawsuits of parents who are suing all these social media companies, Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, because all these companies know that what they're doing is horribly wrong for children. For Instagram, they interviewed the girl. She was like, now she's like 20, but she was 13 at the time, or she was even under. She was like 11. And you have to be on 13. And so she goes, well, I went to sign up for Instagram. And by the way, her parents didn't let her have Instagram, but she said it doesn't matter because the kids have go-arounds. There's an app. It looks like a calculator, the app does. And it's Instagram. You can open it up, and Instagram's within the calculator. You can find it and then open Instagram from inside the app.
What?
Of the calculator. Yeah, it's not even Instagram.
Kids are genius. So that's the genius part.
Laughing. And the poor parents were being interviewed, and they were like, this is on 60 Minutes. And they were like, look, man, we're kind of on top of this, but we don't know anything. These kids are like, they can go right around us. And so she goes on Instagram and she says something about fitness. She searched fitness, and she got just blasted with tons of posts about anorexia, to the point where she goes, oh, I guess I'm anorexic. She's like 11 years old, and you're like, I just don't know, man. I'm starting myself to pull off of social media.
Yes.
The other day I was gonna, like Christmas Day, I was like, oh, look at this cute post with my kid. I was gonna make this post with my kids, and I was like, why do I feel the need to try to share?
Yeah.
Why do I care? Why the fuck do I care? Because my wife posted at like 6:30 in the morning. She's like, we're up at 6:30. I go, why am I checking in to let everyone know what's happening in my family?
Yeah.
And nobody else put any work in to like creating this amazing portrait of my children enjoying this beautiful. They didn't put up the Christmas tree. They didn't do anything. Why do they deserve to just have a moment of like, oh, look at this beautiful photo? Part of me was like, you didn't earn it. None of it. And so I'm having this life crisis about like, why do I feel the need to share this with everyone? Does anyone else have that feeling?
Oh, yeah. I'm not necessarily that to that same regard, but I'm just like, I'm done. I
love what we do, and I love this interaction because to me it feels vibrant and real. And that's why, like most podcasts, 99% of podcasts nobody does it live. They record it, they edit it, they cut pieces out, and then they present it. I've done that. I did it all. And now I'm like, I like this format. I like when people come in and they comment, and it's almost a town square and a community where we're all part of it. And then, it's great to post. And if people want to listen to it.
Well, I can tell you I'm doing almost no editing on them.
You haven't done any editing. No, we just post it and it goes up. But that's what I like about it. I love the honesty and people have said like, I can't believe you said that. And I was like, so I felt, man. Yeah. I love when people apologize later. They go, oh, I'm sorry. I go, everything I said, I meant every word of it. So I don't know. Yeah. I feel sometimes with my kids, I'm like, why do I feel the need to share this with people I don't know. I don't know.
I felt that way for a little.
It was on the East Coast, and I was sharing photos on Facebook and stuff so that my parents could see my kids and my cousins and everyone could be part of the family, which was great. And I still kind of like that premise.
But now they're dead. So,
I don't know. Unless you're like a like I used to do Twitter or whatever, but even then I was like, oh, here's my witty comment.
Yeah.
Everybody's witty.
Yes.
I feel I wanted to post something. Hey, does anyone know anyone who's doing stand-up comedy? Because if I open Instagram one more time where it's like, now my new question is there anyone who has never tried stand-up comedy?
Yeah.
Will the 3 people on earth who've never tried stand-up comedy, can you raise your hand?
But it is, I will say that internet really is undefeated. Like I could think of the funniest thing I could possibly come up in my brain, and somebody has done that particular idea of that joke better than me. It's almost sad. I'm like, oh man, that guy. And that's,
but here's what happens, Mulligan. Every joke, it's like Shakespeare. There's 7 stories, man. Because I saw a post the other day and I go, oh, I love that joke when George Carlin told it in 1974. I really enjoyed it.
Oh,
and then I see somebody else's post and I go, oh, that was a clip from a movie from 1974 that you've now shot poorly in your living room that nobody knows you stole. You're basically, listen, it is.
No, I know, but like also like when Bernie Sanders gloves and him like showed up everywhere.
Funny. I agree.
Like Salt Bay showing up in different like locations now. Like they put Salt Bay in the manger. Like I'm always like, oh God, the internet's undefeated. Everybody
and the cream always does rise because you see super talented people come out of it, right?
Yeah,
and blow up. But I also see a lot of people making a lot of money who are great publicists, but very little on the talent. And the comedian side, where
that's
like,
true too.
Where they know the SEO and the hashtags to blow it up.
Jason, I feel like you were just starting to say something about.
Oh, I was going to comment that what Jamie said. I went through that for a little while, where I was like, should I be posting all this stuff of them? And then somebody told me, she was an older woman in her 60s that I have known like my whole life, and said how much she enjoys seeing my family interaction stuff because it makes her happy and makes her feel better and her day a little brighter. So I kept posting after that because I was like, well, if my motley crew of miscreants here is bringing joy, then who am I to take it from the world?
You know what's funny, dude?
Oh, sorry.
Somebody told me the exact same thing. I was at dinner with some friends last night, and I said I was talking about going. I haven't been posting lately, and I don't know why. I don't feel the need. And they go, "You're entertaining. You're really entertaining other people." And because she said, I love your posts. They make me laugh so hard. And I miss them. And then I was like, oh, okay. And the other part of me was like, well, unless I'm making money off of it, then I stopped doing stand-up on the road because I'm home watching my kids. But I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
Still making them laugh, Taylor. Still making them laugh.
By the way,
I love doing this. And listen, I have other things, but I want to do more. Like scripted bits the stuff we're doing for Sirius XM and those and albums. I have another album to do, but as opposed to like the everyday post of like, here's my kid in a goofy t-shirt. I don't know. I don't know. Part of me is like fading on it.
Also, I gotta say, right now, Narcolepsy 27 wins the night. There it is. Southwest has been doing
Southwest.
stand-up. There it is.
Hey,
And on that note, let's
Let's
wrap
hear
it
the
up.
act.
because-
Mulligan, what's the opening joke? What's the opening joke from South? Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
No, here's the opening joke.
Okay, yeah, give it to me. Give it to me.
I just flew in from Denver. Actually, I didn't. My flight got canceled. And
Yeah.
boy, my arms are still tired.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh boy, I have nothing funny left in my body. Okay. How about
What's up with airplane food? I wouldn't know because I couldn't get on my flight because I got canceled.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. I'll be here all week. Enjoy the veal.
Hey guys, just call me Crystalia because I got canceled. Because my
Wow.
That's
deep
like I
cut on
canceled.
Kalia.
well, he was canceled for a while.
Southwest is in the
You guys
same
just call me.
zone.
Hey, we're gonna rename this airline. We're gonna rename this airline Kevin Spacey Air because it's canceled.
Yeah. That's the other thing about like in Hollywood of like, ugh. I thought I booked a pilot this week, but unfortunately Southwest said there was none available.
There was none of it.
There you go.
There it is.
We already have like 7 minutes of Southwest jokes. Perfect.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Or just also like I've never been so happy when somebody told me they shot a pilot, and then I realized they meant they actually were shooting a show. But I was really excited that I thought they shot a
that would
pilot.
probably get and honestly, that's something like tomorrow I might like put a suit and a tie on and on a like a fake brick wall and be like, "Hey, everybody, Southwest Airlines, please welcome your next comic, Southwest Airlines. Hey, everybody, how's everybody doing? I just flew in and boy, my arms are tired." No, I'm joking. I didn't fly in. My flight got canceled.
Kayla, you need to do that. We're so close to 10,000 followers on TikTok. Bump us up over.
All right, listen, it's 8:15. Should we leave on a positive note? Jason, do you have any more positive notes? What's everybody doing for New Year? Anything?
Staring into the abyss.
What am I doing next Tuesday? I think we're actually, here's what's really funny. We have some amazing guests coming. I'm so bad at booking, but I've talked to numerous some celebs, some social media big hitters, and we have a bunch of people who are like, yeah, I'll do the show. So we're gonna I think in the next year, I think in January and February, we're gonna have some good names coming in and do stuff. But other than that, honestly, sometimes this is my favorite way to do the show.
I think we should do one a month that it's for sure this, because I do enjoy this very much.
Wait, sorry, just so we're clear, once a month where I just talk about my kids being so ill that I've bought Target out of Pedialyte popsicles. Is that what you guys want that to happen once a month? Okay, I'll make it happen, guys.
I meant the camaraderie of this.
Yes,
but I mean, if you want to talk your feces, sure.
Oh, guys, these poor kids. You know what it is? Can I tell you something?
Sure.
I have kids that are sick, but I don't have sick kids. Do you know what I'm saying? I think, how do parents of actually sick kids get out of bed in the morning?
I have a friend who is dealing with a child that has cancer, and I'm like every day. I'm like I want to every time I want to hold them and hug them, and I have no idea how people get through it.
I don't know.
Because like honestly, it is one of those things. You know, we can crack jokes and we can make fun of things. Because listen, until this party's over, and I joke about it all the time. And one day you guys will go, "Wow, he was right this week. He really is going to
die."
He did die. But until that day, it's all a joke. It's all a joke. And so you do what you do, and you try to make sure your kids have the best days they can, and you move on. I know. So
that's the biggest test tube ever. That's the biggest beaker.
So
there's not a
in the grand scheme of things, I'm glad to see your kids are better. Jason, I'm really happy to see that you had a fantastic Christmas, because honestly, dude, no one deserves it more.
No one deserves it.
Thank you, buddy.
Nobody.
And I said that to you when you texted me.
Anyone who watches this show on a regular basis knows they go, "Oh, thank God Jason had a good Christmas, because that dude needed it."
Jason's honestly like, I'm so delighted these two have finally picked up some slack.
That's the thing. Like, that's the rub where like it's now going to flop, and I'm going to have a fantastic 2023.
No, this was it. Christmas was good for you. The rest of the year is going to be an absolute test show, and my life will go back to just being perfect starting next week. All right, hey, listen, everybody, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. please share, subscribe, like, write a review. If
Drop
you're
us some
listening to this on
stars.
iTunes, definitely do all of that, and share with your friends, especially other parents who you know are going through troubling times, because that's the point of this whole show, is that we're parents, and we joke about it, but the struggle is real, and it's nice to commiserate with a lot of other people who can crack jokes about it, because if you can't laugh, then you're not doing it right. So anybody else have anything they want to wrap up with?
Just want to say congratulations to Stephanie Hansen and Sarah yet
Yeah,
again.
that's
very
awesome.
happy for
Love you
those
guys. We love it. Well, I can't wait. We're all going to be at the wedding, hammered, causing a scene.
Ham-boned.
Causing a scene. Maybe she could do it in October when we're all back.
And Joey Steelers, I hope your wife feels better soon.
Yep. Narcolepsy. The food at Jamie's funeral will include funerals, of course.
Funerals,
That's yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. You guys made me laugh tonight. Thank you to all of our regulars for coming in and sharing your own sense of humor. It's really important, and it's super cool. Is your refrigerator running? No, but your Southwest Gate engine. Oh, that's my closer. You know what?
You need to shoot that tomorrow.
I think I might put myself against a black wall and go, please welcome Southwest Airlines. Actually, it would destroy. It would be pretty funny.
Troy.
It would be huge right now.
Troy.
Jamie, it's a good idea.
He's
I'm gonna write
stealing
it
that
down.
joke, Troy. Okay, thank you.
Troy, you won't get any
That's
credit
his joke. Yeah, that's his
in
joke
the video because
But
it
you'll
would just
know.
be-
You'll
it would
know.
seem
You'll
weird,
know,
but
buddy.
You'll know. And I think I might put that up tomorrow. That might inspire me to go back to doing some more stuff. Like that stuff I love on social media, but the whole stuff of like, look, here's my kid coloring a rainbow. I'm fading.
Yeah.
On that. Fading.
Yes.
All right, that's it. We love you all. Thank you guys so much. Have a great new year, and we'll see you guys and
See you next year.
We'll see you in 2023.
See you next year.
All right.
Good night,
Love
everybody.
y'all.
Good night.